Hey everyone. This video contains incomplete spoilers for Outer Wilds. I had a lot of trouble finding a start for this essay, and I think that's because Outer Wilds is one of the most unique and complex titles I have ever attempted to cover on this channel. And I'm having trouble trying to pinpoint exactly what I want to talk about within the next 10 minutes, so I figured that the best place to start is at the beginning. I woke up next to a campfire, looking up at the stars, and I was on my home planet of Timberhearth. From the get-go, I knew one thing. I'm an astronaut, and my goal is to explore the galaxy. I was able to walk around the place I grew up, talking to people who were excited to see me off, learning how to use my tools, and getting some advice on where to go after my first solo launch. At this point, I was excited. Here we have a game that basically allows me to choose the adventure. With multiple planets to explore and long-forgotten history to uncover, I took off. And right about the time I got off my home planet, the sun exploded. As I watched the sun implode into a beautiful glow that quickly enveloped me, I was shown the events of the day that I had just lived. My conversations, the practice flight I took, and the game of hide-and-seek that I had played to test my signal scope flashed before my eyes in rapid succession. And right as it ended, I realized that this isn't a game about exploring a galaxy. It's a game about saving it. So with the knowledge of the last day's events, I took to the stars once again, with a new quest. Today, I'm going to save the galaxy. While I began to explore, I quickly realized that attempting to learn all the secrets of the galaxy was going to take a while. Each new planet I visited had loads of information to uncover. I found this so exciting. Here I was, an alien archaeologist, exploring the ruins of an ancient underground city, translating text from an alien species that has long since died out. The long-forgotten messages told me that they were masters of science, full of curiosity and incredible architects, who built these massive structures in seemingly impossible locations. I found out more about them with each new planet I landed on, but with each new discovery came new questions that needed to be answered. This information all comfortably stored in my ship's log, which quickly became a spider's web of mysteries. Do I travel the Giant's Deep and learn more about the statues that seemingly grant me with this power to repeat my day over and over again? Do I try to learn more about the small space station orbiting the sun, or attempt to find the moon that travels throughout the galaxy and disappears when I'm not looking at it? Or attempt to locate the source of the eerie signal within the dark bramble, which is incredibly hard to do while being chased by giant fish that can swallow my entire ship whole? It's hard not to get frustrated in Outer Wilds, and I found myself making mistakes and meeting more and more gruesome ends. One day, I forgot to put my spacesuit on when I exited my ship, and quickly suffocated to death while trying to correct my mistake. There were 3 consecutive loops that I crashed into the sun while trying to land on the sun station. It was at this point that I realized that the galaxy I was trying so hard to save was relatively unconcerned with my existence. This really bothered me, and I began to doubt that I could save the galaxy. In a particularly frustrating loop, I fell through a black hole at the center of Brittle Hollow and was teleported to the edge of the galaxy. I was completely out of fuel and missed the space station that could teleport me back, so I was stuck, doomed to drift until I ran out of oxygen and woke up. To pass the time, I took out my signal scope, and I realized that when the planets aligned, I could pick up all the other astronauts' instruments. As I floated farther and farther from the sun, listening to the different instruments play as I slowly ran out of oxygen, I realized that maybe I couldn't save the galaxy today, but there's always tomorrow. Time is actually on my side. Yeah, the sun explodes every day, but I get to keep all my memories, learn from my mistakes, and perhaps, with enough time, I can figure out how to save the galaxy. So I did just that. I began to take more care with my exploration. Instead of spending my days trying to gather as much information as possible, I focused on specific tasks. Learned how to use the warp systems to get to hard-to-reach places. Landed on a comet and floated with it until the ice melted and I could explore the inside of it. Learned more about the aliens who created all the runes on each planet. If I found myself getting distracted or overwhelmed, I would say to myself, it's okay. We can try again tomorrow. It made everything easier, and I began to really appreciate the subtle design of each individual planet inside the tiny solar system. I learned all the quirks of the teleporters, figured out how to fly past the scary fish undetected, and most importantly, I understood that it is okay to take breaks. One time I spent an entire loop roasting marshmallows over a crackling fire, learning to appreciate my home. On another loop, I just flew around and enjoyed the spectacle. I began to develop an even greater appreciation for the world of Outer Wilds. And on those days when I got nothing done, I would look outside the cockpit and smile. I didn't save the galaxy today, but I can always try again tomorrow.